the forum today. So um, I'm going to quickly touch base on the code of conduct. Okay, letting people speak. This platform has a virtual hands you can raise up, so please make use of it. And you can also mute yourself when you're not speaking. This is to prevent echo. And we just came in. Someone just came in, right? Okay, that's fine. We also have a culture for respect, respecting everyone. So let us endeavor to keep to that. Kim, how are you? Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you. Thanks
Yeah,
for passing me the link.
that's no worries. That's those worries. I mean, I was just lucky that I had my email to open at the same time, speaking. Yeah. So for today's agenda, I will let you know a little bit about student features. At least that we also come in to talk briefly about the FTO election. And I'm going to give a bit of update from the last forum. And then I'm going to light the highlights of the forum for today. All right, is we talk about the academic issues and the facilities and technical issues that the students are facing. And so permit me to reintroduce to you again, to especially our new members who will just resume in January. Okay, the three full-time officers who are yet to work in the interest of students. While we work within different remits, we have collective goals around student engagement, student sustainability, and many more. Alice, I wanted to check, is it recording? Are you recording at the moment, yeah?
Yep, it's being recorded at the moment.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, all right. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, so why student engagement is very important is because there are lots of resources that is made available to students and they are not aware of that. So some of the resources might not be available, after uni. So it's very, very important that we are able to share those resources with you. So this is why I say a very big thank you to you once again for putting yourself forward to represent the students, and welcome to this year forum. So if you're yet to join the Facebook group, I would encourage you to join. Also the SSLC, which is the Student Staff Liaison Committee, and they want to follow up with your program leaders to stay up to date with the dates for your programs. I'm aware that some program leaders have sent out the date for this year as SLC to their program reps already. So if you've not gotten that yet, try to follow up with your program leader and they will be able to, add you to the list because it's your responsibility to be there, to speak to the senior staff within your program. I mean, while I was a program rep, it was nice to know that my tutors were willing to listen and act on what the students are saying. And also, at the moment, if you'll be interested in joining your school LTSEC, which is the Learning, Teaching, Assessment, and Student Experience, do let me know, and I can put your name forward. In this committee, you get to be in meeting with deans of your school and senior management to raise school-related issues and have an understanding of what is going on behind the scene. So I'm going to allow Alexa to come in now to talk briefly about the FTO elections.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Hi, everybody. So every year we have full-time officer elections. Matthew obviously introduced who the three full-time officers are, including himself, this year, which is Matthew, Eloisa, and Emily. And they have the positions of President for Societies and Community, Co-President for Education and Employability, and Co-President for the Sports and Wellbeing. They were the people that were successfully elected last year, and every year we run fresh elections. So the good thing about these positions is that they are full-time paid positions with details of the hours per week and their duration also up there on the side. And they are one-year contracts which run from the 1st of July to the 30th of June. So if you were interested in running for one of these positions, the nomination period is now open. So you can submit yourself and you can put forward your manifesto, what it is you're looking to achieve, and that can be done via the ENSA website at napierstudents.com/elections. The link is below there. I'll pop it in the chat in a wee bit. If you do have any questions, you can get in contact with myself or another member of the ENSA staff. It's advisable you come directly to ENSA staff for this rather than going to the elected officers. It's just that we have to be quite impartial, and it is best that the ENSA staff give you the support that you need. If anybody is interested in applying, the deadline is Wednesday the 2nd of March at lunchtime or 12 noon. So if you are interested in doing so, please get your nomination forms in as well. The way it would usually work is that your studies would be put on hold for a year as you do this role, and then you can either resume your studies, or if it was your final year, you can go on to do what you would want to do. So you can add the year on to the end of your studies. If anybody wants to talk to me about these things, please do say so, and I can have a chat with you either after this meeting, or we can arrange another appointment if you have any questions to see if this is anything you'd like to do. But yeah, it'd be great to see some of you applying.
All right, thank you very much for that, Alice there. So the student features are the arms of the university that support students with any employability requirement and resources like careers and development, skills development, and placement, which is something I'm very much, passionate about. So I'm working closely with them. So they're currently having this event around Student Opportunities Week that started on Monday and will last till the 4th of March. So you can ensure to visit their website on My Futures, which you can also find on your mobile app, which is the Hi Napier, okay, at the same time. So also encourage your colleagues to also, participate. The business school, they are doing these around the 3 campuses and the several schools that we have within the university. So the business school started on the 14th already and will end on the 18th of February. So I would encourage you all to, participate, go on the website, join, because they'll be able to share vital information around employability, around placement, if you're looking for one, around CV update and things like that. So it's, worth joining them for such sections. So, in the last forum, I had several actions, taken forward. So some I have, shared with you already in the past emails I've sent. However, because of the new reps, we're creating a blog that identifies all the good works of reps. Basically, there was a lack of, for example, there was a lack of international adapters in the library, and this was raised in the last forum. So I spoke to the library team, and I can confirm the purchases of those adapters, this week, and it will be distributed to all libraries. So I'll keep monitoring that. Okay. So the university loaned laptops at updated softwares, and this was raised also by reps. And I reached out to the IT services, which had confirmed an update to the laptop softwares, which will arrive in batches. Also, I'll keep monitoring that also. Also, there was an issue around parking space. So I shared this with the facility department, and I've shared a link on the arrangement that the university had for students for trimester 2 around our parking issue. For the mode of learning, we kind of spoke about that briefly in the last forum to understand what the university is actually looking at for around learning. So in the meantime, it's actually, about wanting students more on campus, okay, but there's still that switch around, hybrid and blended learning at the moment. So I wanted to briefly mention about my blog, which is up now. I've just uploaded my manifesto tracker to keep you informed, and also I'll be sharing the works that you all are doing for students and everyone, with everyone too, So I'm going to share this link with you in my next email that I'm going to be sending out to you after the end of this forum. So I think of me talking now. I want to listen to you. That is the reason for this forum. So I might be looking elsewhere to take some notes, and Aliza to my we also be taking some notes. So now is the time to raise any issues around academic issues. So if you want to raise an issue, can you please have your hands up? I think I can see the chat and everyone here now.
Can I just ask as well, if you do want to raise an issue, if you could also mention what your study it is and what your course is, that's really useful to us as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Alice there. So I've seen Philip's hands up, yeah? Philip?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Good evening. I'm studying
Good
leadership
evening.
practice, September
Okay.
21.
Okay.
All right. So this issue is actually one that affected one of my colleague. So
Mm-hmm.
she reached out to me as the program rep for our program. She
Yeah.
said that she got an F in one of the assessments. It's called
Mm-hmm.
management research. The
Okay.
assessment was done in two parts. We had the part A, which was 30% of the mark, and the part B, which was 70% of the mark. So she said she got an F, and the reason was that she didn't submit her assessment. So when
Oh.
she told me, the first thing I asked her was, did she submit her assessment? She said yes. Then I asked, did she get a Tunitin receipt? She said yes. And from all that, it is clear to me that she actually did, because she sent a screenshot of the Tunitin receipt to me. So I contacted the module leader. There was no feedback from her. I contacted my program leader. Still no feedback on that. I don't know how to help the students. She's still asking, what should she do? And so I remember recently you told me that there is an answer advice body. So I copied the email and told her
Mm-hmm.
to reach out to answer advice, that they will
Mm-hmm.
advise her further on what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so another thing I would like to raise is I don't understand, or I don't think the communication process in Napier is effective, because I don't understand how an issue like this, that is, to me, it's serious. A student
Mm-hmm.
claims he submitted assessment and he has a Tunitin receipt for it. I made the module leader. There's no response from the module leader. I made my program leader. There's no response. I don't understand. I don't know what else one is supposed to do in such situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for raising that, Philip. Yeah. So I just want to just understand more content. I know you've had this conversation with me. Having to direct it to answer advice. So this student got an F in an assessment, right? So this student did not get a grade for the assessment. Am I correct?
She said she got a grade which was F, being that the assessment was structured in two parts. She had a grade for the first part, and the second part was an automatic F, since they said she did not submit the assessment, because the first part was 30%, and the second part, which they said she didn't submit, was 70%. So there's no way she could pass.
Okay. Okay. And do you know the date for your SSLC?
No, I don't. Not gotten any mail in relation to that.
To that.
Maybe
Okay.
I missed it.
Okay. What I'm going to advise you to do, okay, you have you got in touch with your program leader about this?
Yes, I sent a message to him. There was no response to that.
Okay, okay, all right. If that's the case, find out about the SSLC and copy me in it, please. Okay, send a mail to your program leader and find out about the SSLC. I think something I can actually may probably take forward. Okay, because if you contacted your program leader and the program leader has not responded back to you, on that issue, because it's, I mean, I understand the student's situation. She could be devastated at this point in time, and not, understanding what is happening. Yeah, but if she had been advised that she had not submitted her work, okay. So what are they advising her currently?
Yeah, that's the feedback she got, that she did not submit the second assessment.
Okay, all right, that's no worries. Philip, you copy me in and ask your program leader first, all right, the date for the SSLC, all right, yeah, because issues like this can be raised on that platform, okay, and the module leaders will be able to provide you with necessary answer. Aliza, you want to say something?
Yeah, please. So basically, you've got two issues here that you've raised. The first one is that you have an individual issue. Now, individual issues are not something you should really handle yourselves as program reps, and that actually goes for everybody here. For an individual issue, what you should be looking to do is you should signpost them to ENSA Advice. Usually is a good place for things like this, and you'll have a trained advisor who will go through the right channels and find out exactly why things like this have happened. So you've done the right thing, certainly there, Philip, in terms of giving her the contact for ENSA Advice. She'll get a one-to-one appointment and we'll get support for that. There's a bigger issue, though, that you have raised, which is a program rep issue, which is the lack of communication and feedback. Now, there might be a reason behind this. It might be the fact it's confidential and they don't want to be getting back in contact with you, but certainly they should communicate if that is the case, and raising that at your SSLC should be, as Matthew says, a big kind of issue, because communication is a very important issue, and just lost Matthew there maybe, but it is a very big and important issue, and making sure that you have that line of communication there as program rep is essential. So I think Matthew's going to hopefully chase up your SSLC for you, and he may even attend. I'm not sure what his plans are on that one. I don't want to speak for him. Hopefully that answers your question.
All right, thank you.
Excellent. Matthew, you still there? We may have lost Matthew. Maybe if everybody wants to grab a drink, we'll wait 2 minutes, and hopefully he'll be back by 17:24. And if he's not, I'll happily fill in for him. It shouldn't be a problem. It may just be a wee bit slower because I'll be trying to take notes and answer questions. Hey Matthew, you back?
Can you hear me? Oh, did I go off?
There you go. Yep, you went offline, but that's good that you're back.
Okay, maybe that's the storm anyway, disrupting the connection. Okay, so I've got Prince and up, and after that I'll go to Vishal. Then after that I'm going to go to Steffi. So Prince George, yeah.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
My name is.
I'm sorry, Prince. I can't hear you properly. You're echoing.
I have a colleague. Who is passing through difficult situation, and she has
Prince
gotten a mail.
Prince George, sorry. Before you go ahead, can you tell us your program, the year of study, please? Yeah.
Okay. My program is MBA Leadership Practice, and I am September intake 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a colleague who has been passing through tough times since she came to the UK. So when she came here, she had issues with the sponsor, and they couldn't continue sponsoring her, and she's been struggling. First and foremost, she came with the daughter, and she have to go back to drop the daughter to her country, and later came back again. So she's been having one-off with fees, and she complained to school, and they were able to allow her to study without paying fees for a short while. And now I think they are really getting on her to start paying fees. So she has started paying fees gradually, but she's missed out for about 4 to 5 months now.
Mm-hmm.
So she got a mail recently that she have no access to go to classes again, and she will not be able to see her results until she paid the money to the last month, maybe remaining the month of March alone for the first section. And that she's, if they can't hear from her at any moment, or she can't fulfill that obligation, that she's going to be withdrawn, that she will be reported to the Home Office, that is the next step, because they have taken the, which is to withdraw her access to classes and anything that has to do with academics. So that's any moment from now that she will be reported to the Home Office, and she has to
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Prince George. So regarding that, because that's an individual issue and problem.
So that is
Okay.
the solution she's facing. I think to money into the problem is just join classes. Network. Shit. The problem now is that she cannot join classes, and she can't have lectures. She can't as well see her results. She can't as well see her results. So if she is trying to make payments or making payments, maybe she may not be able to get it one-off to pay into the school's account, or if she try to have a plan of paying in gradually. After missing these classes and maybe this section, what will become her fate? So I'm just passionate about this because she told me this a few weeks ago. And I said, since we are going to have a meeting, I'm going to bring it to the forum. So I don't know if there is any advice or how we can come in to let the school allow her have access to studies while she's been paying gradually.
Okay. All right. This kind of issue. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Prince. I mean that's part of the essence of being a program, right? This passion, to want to assist, colleagues. So, Prince George, what could happen here is you need to advise this person, okay, to get directly in touch with Answer Advice. Okay. Can Aliza please share the email for our advice team?
If you give me 2 minutes.
Yes, please. Yes. Okay. So, because she will need to have an appointment with the, Answer Advice, and they'll be able to give her the necessary support, and advise on how to go about this. They can also probably, advocate for her too. Okay, but they'll be able to, guide her through on the option that's, best for her and available to her.
Okay.
Yeah. Aliza is going to share the Answer Advice email with you now. Just give it over to the students because she needs the student needs to directly contact Answer Advice, and they'll be able to deal with it on an individual basis.
All right, that'll be fine. Thank you very much.
The email is about answer.advice@napier.ac.uk. Just bear with me. Answer.
Did you try it on the chat box?
Yes, at napier.ac.uk. So that is it there. Enter that advice at napier.ac.uk. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for raising that, Prince George.
Okay.
I can see Kim and up now. So I'm going to go to Vishal and I'll go to Steffi and then Kim. So Vishal.
Hi, Matthew. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm good. So I'm studying MBA Strategic Project Management, like September 2021 intake. So I have asked like many students and like in my program, so they have like many issues regarding the course. So first of all is the feedback system. So there is no proper feedback given to the students. Sometimes they just only provide the marks. No feedback is submitted. So when we have submitted the first assignment, we didn't get the feedback. So some have failed, but they don't know like what reason the professor has failed them. So they don't know how to improve that. And when they are mailing to the professor, they are like busy, so they are taking much longer time than expected. They are replying though, but taking too long time. So students are facing the issues regarding the feedback. And the second thing is many students attend the class. Is there any way like many students attend the class? I have like, and they don't do the check-in, but they have attended the class. And when they ask professor to like help in check-in process after the class, so professor is not able to like do that. So is there anything which we can work upon so that check-in process, like professor can do check-in after the class as well if the student has forgot to check in like when the lecture was started. So that is the second issue. And yeah, like that is some kind of main thing is feedback system. So
all right, thank you so much for sharing that, Vishal. And so around the feedback system, quite a number of students has reached out to me around that. So it's not just happening within your program alone. Since the result that come out, okay, there's been a lot of students who has contacted me directly. All right, tens of them, contacted me directly around the feedback. So I raised that up with a member, with a colleague at the LTA, who said that they're also kind of looking into that process at the moment. But in the meantime, all right, what I'm going to say is that we'll need to have a focus group with your colleagues to understand the case study around the feedback system. Okay. Now, one question I would like to ask is the professor replying emails, okay, to students. Is a professor providing the feedbacks?
So the professor are replying, but they are replying it like they are delaying the responses. So in that time, like students are totally confused about like they are not in a position like what had happened. So it is making them like.
Okay, so Vishal, aside the delay, all right, in response, is the professor providing the feedback to the students?
No, they are not providing the proper feedback. So they are not providing it.
Okay.
So
okay.
I also contacted the professor. So what happened is like one of my colleagues, so one of my batchmate, he got he has some issue with the Turnitin. He was not able to upload it, but then I mailed it from his side to the professor to upload the project, but the professor forgot to upload it, and he got the email from the academic team regarding the plagiarism and all that, because he had submitted the project earlier, but that was like having much similarity. That was not the final report, and when he was trying to submit his final report, so he was not able to submit. Then I mailed the professor, so he didn't upload it on the Turnitin, and he got like a mail from the professor. Then after so many days, so many mails, then the issue was resolved. So it was like a tense moment for that student as well. He was not able to focus on study. So
okay, so I can see you're talking about three issues here right now: feedbacks and the length of time to get response from the professor.
Yeah, the TAT is very long, the turnaround time.
Okay. Okay, all right, that's fine. So, but for the first one, which is a feedback, okay, I will need to have a conversation with you after this forum, okay, to be able to organize a focus group, all right, because we need to have those students in a room to be able to understand what kind of feedback are they getting, all right, and that will be able to inform us on how that can be resolved moving forward. Okay, it's an ongoing project. Okay, so as many students as possible that can come forward, to talk about the feedback system will be much more appreciated, because we need a numbers of case studies to be able to look into this comprehensively and get it, resolved. So around the check-in. So I think it's worth mentioning and noting that the professor does not have the mandate to confirm your check-in. All right. So if the check-in doesn't work on the app, all right, and this is an information I've gotten from the university, sometimes there are some technical issues. All right. So as long as you are in the class, all right, there are other ways that the program leader or the program rep or the module leader can confirm your attendance. Okay.
No, the thing is in our class, like there is no kind of paper attendance, so it's only on basis of check-in system. So if some might forgot to check in, the professor say he can't do that. So he has no he has no ability of doing that. Like he can't do. So
okay, all right. That's Vishal. Is that me or is that Vishal? Can you hear me now, Vishal? Yeah.
yes, I can.
All right. So I can take that forward, okay, to look into the check-in system, okay, and I'm going to give you back a feedback, okay?
Yes, because like attendance system is like students are sometime forgetting to check in, but then they attend it and then they feel like they have attended and they forgot to check in. Then teacher, like professor, is also not helping it to get their attendance. So that's again a demotivating thing, which is like affecting their studies. So
All right. So, what we advise you to do is to encourage your colleagues, okay, to
yeah.
endeavor to always check in. All right, not to
Yeah,
forget to
I
check in.
try to do that. Like whenever I join the group, whenever I be in the class, I message them to do the check-in and all that thing. But some might forget. It's like there are some who like forgot, so that they have raised the issue. So if so I have
All
raised
right.
it with you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Vishal. Any other thing you want to raise?
Yeah, like I had a word with you regarding the optional placement year, if possible, for every like course. If we can do that, because many students are coming, because in our course, most of the students are international students, and if we are going to real industry, job after after graduation, so some might require experience of UK. So if we get any support from the university regarding like any optional placement semester or year, so which will help gaining the UK experience, so that when we go to the industry we have that experience and we can like achieve good job. So
All right.
many
Thank
have.
you very much for that. Yeah. So around that, okay, you can always get in touch with my features.
Yeah.
Okay. They are the employability hands of the university. Okay, and they provide a lot of resources. So you can always go to their website. Just came to have a look if I can get a website and share with you right away. Okay, so once you direct students to that, okay, they can book an appointment with them. Okay, and have
Okay.
the conversation around, gaining work experience in the UK. Okay, I'm just going to share that link with you just now. So you can just copy that and show it to colleagues. Okay, it's on your app also, which is my features. And currently they're having the Student Opportunity Week. Try to go
Yeah.
for those events, okay, and they want to encourage your colleagues to attend those events, all right, which will be very, very helpful. I can see, is that all for now? Yeah.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much for that. Alice, you want
Thank
to say
you.
something? But just before you go, Alice, there, I can see John mentioned that the checking hub often didn't work last semester, yeah? And sometimes it worked for some of the classes and not others, okay? The browser checking nearly always worked, though, okay, all right. John, I think it is what, taking that forward, yeah. I can raise that with the IT department, to have a better understanding and, work around getting that result. Thank you very much for that input, John. So, Aliza, you wanted to say something?
I was really just going to raise John's point that he said there, and I think Vishal, you're doing a good job reminding everybody to check in. But at the end of the day, if a student forgets to check in, it's not with the best will in the world. It's not the job of the lecturer to help or assist them. They may have another place to go to. The student, so long as it's not an IT issue and the check-in option is there, it is down to the student to make sure they check in to classes. And it's good that you're reminding them, but
No, but
everybody has their own
someone,
responsibilities.
if they are attending it, sorry to interfere, but someone, if they are attending it, so like they feel like motivated, because people do take a lot of advantage of this check-in system. So some might not attend the class and they do the check-in, and then the people who are attending the class, they do check-in, and then they forgot some time and they are not like getting the attendance. So that is what their main focus is. Like if a professor has that thing, if they have attended and the professor know the student has attended, so they might give the attendance. So
It's something we can raise in terms of that. But obviously, I think the university considers the onus to be on the students to be responsible enough to check into their classes. It will probably be the response that we get, to be honest with you, Vishal. And maybe there's a better way that we could look at that, where I don't know, scanning it into a lecture as people come in. So as they come to the door, maybe there's a QR code they could scan or something like that. I don't quite know how that would work, but you could have something to do it so that as people are coming in, they get checked in automatically. I don't know what that would look like, but it's maybe something Matthew could raise as a kind of issue, and that would also filter out the people who are falsely checking in as well.
All right, thank you very much for that, Lisa. So I'm gonna go to Steffi, if I'm correct, and then I'll go to Kim. Steffi?
Study business management with human resource management, and I'm in year 2.
Okay.
So the issue is to do with exams. And so for the exams, when we get our results, like a few weeks or months later, all we get is a grade, like we just get a percentage, a number. We don't get our exam paper back. We don't get any feedback. We don't know what we've done wrong. We can't like learn from our mistakes. It's almost pointless for students to even do exams because we're not learning from it. So yeah, that's my point.
Thank you very much, Steffi. I think this is a campus-wide issue. But Steffi, would you be happy to have a focus group with yourself and your colleagues around this issue?
Well, possibly, but so I emailed a module leader to ask for some feedback on my essays that we had for an exam, and he said, yeah, it's not university policy to allow students to see their paper. So I mean, the only thing I can think is if the university policy changes.
So you've been informed that it's not the university policy.
Yeah, to allow students to have feedback, which is crazy.
Could I ask if he said anything about it being university policy to provide feedback, however, because I suggest that's a different kettle of fish.
Can you say that again, please? Sorry, I didn't hear.
Just saying, did he say anything about it being university policy to provide feedback? Because that is, sorry, I'll let you speak.
He said it's university policy that they're not allowed to provide feedback.
That they're not allowed to provide feedback?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that we can't, like, pardon?
I said that'll be an interesting conversation.
Absolutely, it's going to be a big one. Yeah, I mean, myself and John was in a meeting earlier today, with Elsec, and I also flagged up the feedback system. But I'm going to take this forward, Steffi. Okay. Along the line, if we need to have a focus group, I'm going to let you know, before time. Okay, but this is a very serious issue because, I mean, like you mentioned, it's very important for students to be able to know what their weak point is, and be able to work on that moving forward, if you get what I mean. I'm going to flag that up personally with the university, okay, and I should be able to give you, feedback, pretty soon. But yeah, if we need to have a focus group, and the reason for the focus group sometimes is to be able to have a better picture as to what is happening within the program, and be able to understand why feedback are not given. But it's interesting to hear that the modulator saying that it's not a university policy to give feedback, and it's strange anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to take that forward.
Because when I asked her, he said, no, we can't do that. And even last year, in first year, I asked, oh, can I please understand where I went wrong? Because it was some statistics kind of module. Yeah. And no, it was not allowed. And I'm like, but how am I meant to learn from this if I have a year 2 module that's building upon year 1 module?
Sure. So this also affected the year 1 student, yeah?
Pardon?
Did this also affect the year 1 students?
Yeah.
Okay, the same. Okay, so that is business management and HR management. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to take this forward, Steffi. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's
no worries. I'm going to go to Kim now. Then I'll go to Claudia.
Yeah, can I just make a quick comment of that?
Okay.
I just it's not. I'm Claudia. I'm studying international business management with language, and what I want to say, it has nothing related to my program itself, but I know someone that that had the same thing Steffi was saying, that some teachers, when you ask them to see your paper, they say it's not allowed, that you cannot see the paper. It's not exactly that they can't give you feedback. They can, but you cannot see the paper. So I agree with Steffi that it's very hard to learn on that. They give you just, I don't know, 60%, 70%, but if you're not allowed to see the paper itself, how are you supposed to learn?
Thank you very much for that, for raising that
So I
up.
just wanted to say that it's happened before, and it's not only with Steffi. So I just want to support her point.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, for seconding that, Claudia. Yeah, like I said, I'm happy to take this forward. And you are in international business management. Yeah. So what year is that? What year are you?
Second year.
Second year. Okay. All right. I'm going to take this forward, Claudia. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Can I have so Kim?
Hiya, yeah. I'm a first year graduate entry law student.
Okay.
So a couple of things. As for the check-in, just to get back to, I can't remember who made the point, that has been quite an issue for a lot of the graduate entrants. And we just kind of wondered if there were any published figures from the university in terms of actually how that's working. And, you know, is it an across the board that actually 50% of the class aren't checking in? Because it doesn't feel like it's a very useful thing. And also you can't actually track your own check-in status. So you can't do it after the lecture's finished or anything, but you also can't see if you have checked in once that lecture's finished.
Okay.
And otherwise, we get to choose an optional module for semester 2, and all of the graduate entrants that I have spoken to had chosen criminology, because it has to be a non-law module that you choose. And there was some confusion or misunderstanding. I was one of the first people to choose criminology as the optional module, and just sent an email to the lady that I was directed to. A couple of weeks later, I sent everyone else that way as well, and they just seemed to arbitrarily pick a few people to put through onto that module. But there was no decision made until December. So I'd found out straight away that I was onto the criminology module, sort of way back in probably October, November. The other 4 or 5 people that I was talking to had got the same email back. And then I know it's a massively oversubscribed module, but there was just no transparency in terms of how that worked. And it's been a real issue, you know, people who are returning to education, you know, who know that they want to do law, definitely don't want to do entrepreneur skills or accounting, things like that. So yeah, the lack of clarity was really quite harmful.
Okay, lack of clarity. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's lack of clarity. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Also, the only other thing is, I'm trying to understand the feedback in terms of, are we supposed to get results within 3 weeks, or is that just a guide? Is that just a guideline for assignments?
Kim, from the top of my head when I was a student, so there was no stipulated time to get results, because I mean some of these things happen by the internal module leader, you know, or supervisor, whichever the case might be, mark those assessments, and then they wait for external examiners, okay, to look into it again. Then they have the examiner board, okay, that makes the decision that this is the grade that the student would have. Do you understand? But I think it's worth checking, okay, to understand what is the time frame, you know, for getting results. I can look into that.
It was purely just for the written work, not the exams, because obviously the exam date is published. But I've read lots of things that say 3 weeks, and there's just been a few occasions where it's been over that, and obviously all of the students have been coming to me and saying, you know, like, do you know?
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
And the exam results day, I know it was a system-wide problem for the business school, but I just wondered if there was any way of kind of urging the university to actually get in touch with students and say, you know, we are aware that there is a problem. One email on that day, on the 7th of February, would have really saved a lot of angst amongst students. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for raising those amazing points, Kim. Around university sending, I'm not sure if I saw it on the university social platform, if that message was sent around technical issues on the 7th, but I can find out anyway. But yes, you're right. I totally agree. Passing on that communication to students, to prevent anxiety, because everyone's actually expecting the result to come at that stipulated time. Around checking in, all right, this is what I'm going to take this forward. Okay, I'll just leave that with me as an action. And the lack of clarity too, I'm going to take that forward. And with the feedback system, like other people have also mentioned, I'm also going to take that forward. The expected time for results, which is 3 weeks. I'm sure you must have seen in some of the communication in the university. I'm going to also look into that, and to understand if it's going to be more than 3 weeks, let the student be aware of this. It's like I said, transparency is very, very important. So yeah, this point I'm happy to take them forward. Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's
You're
great.
welcome, Kim. You're welcome. Yeah.
Just to confirm, will you be taking the criminology optional module fiasco forward as well?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So with that, I put down SSLC. Yeah. So do you know when your next SSLC will be taking place?
So I believe it'll be in September. I believe.
September.
Unless it's not. Oh no, sorry. No, I don't know. You're right. SSLC. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Okay,
sorry.
Okay. I'm like September? No, in February. But that's fine, Kim. So Kim, what you can do is you can email your program leader.
Yeah.
All right. To find out. I think SSLC should be probably next month or
thereabouts. Yeah, no, I've emailed him already about that. Sorry about that. I was getting confused.
That's fine, Kim. That's fine, Kim. So raise that in that committee.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. And probe them to give you a clarification, around that. Okay. Yeah. Because they will be in the best position to be able to share, the algorithm and probably, the process they've used to, sharing that, model, around students. So yeah, raise it up there.
Lovely. Okay. Thanks ever so much.
Yes. And they'll be able to provide you with, necessary support. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome, Kim. Thank you so much for that. I can't see any hands on. Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much for these amazing points shared so far. So I have John Martin. Yeah. Yeah, John. John, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. Or can anybody hear John? We can't hear you, John.
Afraid not.
I can see you are logged in 2 places. You could drop a chat, John. Yeah, sorry, we can't hear you. Or can you unmute yourself? I've tried to unmute you now, but I think I can't.
I think it's an issue at John. I think it's an issue at John's end, Matthew.
Okay. Mike's not working out. Okay, no worries, John. See, just drop anything in the chat comment here. So the next one is let's talk about the facilities and tech issues. So if you've heard about any technical issues that yourself or colleagues are facing, like for example, I'm working with the library department at the moment. They want to get feedbacks as to how students are experiencing, what are the challenges they're experiencing when they go to the library. So if you have anything you want to share to raise about maybe specific issues on campus facilities, you can have your hands up and let's have that conversation and see how we can take necessary action forward. It seems there's no hands up. I think the facilities in Craiglockhart is okay. That's what it means. Yeah. If you want to try.
That's just me typing. Don't worry. I'm just getting back to John there. So I'm just saying you can email.
Okay. Yeah. You could just put in my email there. Okay. You can always get in touch with me at any point in time. Okay. Then we can take this forward. Yeah. So Philip.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah.
Good.
Philip?
So the issue regarding facilities or relating to technology in the Craiglockhart campus is it actually has to do with the new building beside the main building. So
Okay.
we usually have our leading strategic decision making class in trying to get the venue now. The new building I'm talking about, they are labeled CRL, I think from 115 to 1120 or so. So the issue is most of the classes there, especially the one we use this on Wednesday, which is the CRL 1/119.
CRL, sorry,
In fact, all the
CRL what?
buildings.
Okay.
CRL underscore 1/119.
Okay.
I'll quickly put it in the chat right now. So
Thank you.
this is not the first seminar class we've had this issue. I also noticed it last trimester when we were using one of the CRL classes there also. The problem is we have projectors in those classes, but there's no platform for it to be projected on. So what the lecturers normally do is they just project it on the walls, and there are some designs on the wall that sometimes interacts, or that sometimes blur or take some parts of the projections away, and it's hard to make sense of. Like this, the lecture room I just put on the chat box now. The very first class we had there, the lecturer couldn't project anything on the screen. She had to get a whiteboard and she was writing with marker. And when she even tries to wipe the whiteboard off, she gets those disinfectant wipes, and it just messes the whole thing up, and she kept on complaining. And as a result of that, we are having a seminar exercise, a class activity, and she wanted us to work in group, and most of the students just grouped themselves based on nationality. So after the class, I walked up to her and told her that I don't know if she noticed that the group exercise we did was the students grouped themselves based on nationality. If she could next time divide us into groups, as it mix everyone up instead of the students picking themselves and taking some of the experience that we are supposed to get as international students out of the learning process.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Philip. I get to understand that the room you just shared in the chat room, okay, was the challenge with the projector, okay, having to project on the wall, which has maybe some paintings that intercept with the writing here. So with that, I'm going to raise it up with the facilities department, okay, and I'll come back to you with a feedback on what they're going to do about that, okay. And I'm happy to go to those classes, to also see for myself also, and go to the neighboring classes after the CRL underscore 1/119, okay. And do you know when your SSLC is holding?
Oh, no, I don't. But like you said earlier, I've mailed my program leader asking for the dates. So when I get the dates, I'll take some of these things up with them.
Perfect. So the issue where you have maybe the same nationalities, in the same group, and you're not experiencing that, multicultural, maybe that dialogue within your class. You can raise it up in that, committee, all right, and they can be able to look to resolving that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Philip. Any other question around facilities and tech issues? So I got John's message just now, from the chat, which is an issue with lecturers not using inclusive language. The language used is the phrase special needs and refused to accept it was inappropriate. Also, they did not give a trigger warning before discussing suicide and use the phrase committed suicide instead of completed. Apart from that, largely positive feedback, except for the lack of face-to-face teaching. Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that, John. John, I think I will have to pick up with this with you, after this forum, okay, to understand that program, because I think this is something we can raise with the LTA. All right, so I'll pick up with you, after this forum, then we can have that conversation. Is that okay, John? Oh, your mic works now. Okay. So, John, you want to say something? Oh, we still can't hear you, John. All right, but that's no worries. Is there anything anybody want to raise around facilities and tech? All right, I can't see any hands up. All right, so at any point in time, you can always get in touch with me. If peradventure some of your colleagues didn't raise some couple of issues before now, okay, and maybe they are raising it after the forum, they do endeavor to send me an email at any point in time. I endeavor to at least reply to emails, most especially from students within 72 hours. I mean, some could be within few minutes. All right, depending if I'm on my table or probably on campus, trying to meet with students and understanding the challenges that they are facing. So thank you so much for volunteering to become rep, and please just keep up the good work, and please do not hesitate to always get in touch with me at any point in time, please. Okay? All right, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. God bless you.
Amen.
Yes, bye.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.